Ryan Reynolds is now trying to bully the court to try to put financial pressure on Justin Baldoni. You were the ones who started the lawsuit.
Blake Lively's own legal team has completely turned the tables, exposing both her and Ryan Reynolds in the middle of a massive legal scandal they had been desperately trying to keep hidden.
Lively and Mr. Reynolds are now seeking sanctions on the purported ground that certain allegations in their complaint are frivolous.
Apparently, client privilege doesn't mean much when your clients toss you under the bus just to polish their perfect PR image, and honestly, if you treat your lawyer like a disposable napkin, don't be surprised when he turns into the courtroom's sharpest weapon.
In fact, it is Mr. Reynolds and Miss Lively's sanctions motion that are frivolous.
Because Mike Gottlieb isn't here to play nice, and he's sure as hell not about to become anyone's obedient legal puppet.
Because you guys are trying to force down a narrative, and we are refusing to accept.
This time, the real issue was that Ryan Reynolds and Blake Lively's team tried to drag him into their chaos, asking him to file a sanction against Justin Baldoni, but instead of agreeing, Mike flat out refused and exposed the entire circus.
You don't get to just throw your power around and keep demanding that it's frivolous and to go away and blah, 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 blah. You are so out of touch. It's wild.
Insiders close to the filings revealed that Ryan's team wanted their lawyer to ask the court to punish Baldoni for continuing the lawsuit, not because it lacked evidence, but simply because it was inconvenient. That's basically what a sanction means. Legal talk for make him pay and shut up. But here's where it got sketchy. If Mike had actually gone through with it, he could have broken serious legal ethics, risking disbarment or even jail time. And Mike made that crystal clear, telling them straight up, this isn't how the law works.
You guys started this lawsuit. Let's not forget, you were the ones who started the lawsuit, and Justin's proven fairly that a lot of what your wife is saying didn't seem to happen.
Obviously, you can't just weaponize the court to bully someone into silence just because your image is crashing and burning. You don't get to make up your own rules just because you're Ryan Reynolds and your wife happens to be Blake Lively. That kind of power play might fly on Instagram, but it won't hold up in a federal courtroom.
Again, demanding sanctions over the frivolous suit, which is a frivolous request.
And that's exactly why Mike Gottlieb's name is now echoing across this entire scandal, because instead of covering for Blake and Ryan, he blew the lid off their scheme. He flat out told them, if you're looking for someone willing to commit legal suicide to save your reputation, find another fool. And he made it clear he wasn't going to be that guy.
Surrounding the court yet again with more high-profile demands to go away. Ryan Reynolds has had enough of these utterly frivolous. I mean, I feel like I've read this story 4 times already.
And let's get into what they actually wanted. Ryan's team was pushing to file for monetary sanctions against Baldoni, basically asking the court to hit him with massive financial penalties for supposedly wasting the court's time.
Justin's defending himself, so it's different from me. You're constantly out there trying to say, no, we're victims, believe us,
But here's the kicker. We're still in the discovery phase, meaning the court hasn't even reviewed all the evidence yet. This is the stage where both sides collect information, testimonies, and proof, but Ryan's team wanted to skip the whole process. No discovery, no facts, just silence. That's not a legal argument. That's a tantrum, and Mike Gottlieb saw it coming from a mile away.
This is absolutely ridiculous. Talk about frivolous.
What Ryan was really trying to do, in simple terms, was financially crush Baldoni before he even had a fair chance to defend himself. It's the classic rich guy tactic, bleed your opponent dry until they can't afford to keep fighting. But Mike called it exactly what it was, a manipulative power move dressed up as a legal strategy.
Our party's complaint contains substantial factual allegations supported by a mountain of evidence. We anticipate that the court will agree.
And here's the part that makes it even worse. If Mike had actually filed that sanctions request knowing it had no legal basis, he could have been charged with abuse of process or even obstruction. That's how serious this mess is. The real problem is Ryan Reynolds isn't just battling a lawsuit. He's fighting to protect the biggest and possibly last major contract of his career.
You gotta understand, Ryan Reynolds has a very lucrative deal through Fox, through everything, that he's in bed with them. They can't afford to cut him loose, but they can have a talk and tell him, Ryan, this is not good.
Behind all the legal chaos and PR spin lies a harsh truth. Ryan has just one major deal left with Disney from the Fox merger, and if he screws this up, it's over. No more multi-million-dollar Marvel paychecks, no more Deadpool, no more brand empire. Just a man with a tainted public image and a reputation Disney would rather erase from memory.
Ryan seems to be so stubborn and aggressively trying to prove the proof is out there, and I don't know what this man is thinking.
And here's the twist. Disney can't actually get rid of him. At least not yet. His contract is still locked in, signed years ago under the old Fox umbrella, long before the scandal blew up.
Iger himself and Disney have been trying to get Ryan Reynolds to drop this nonsense. Just like Taylor Swift, just like everybody else involved, nobody wants to be involved in this.
But contracts with companies like Disney always have an escape hatch, a sneaky little detail called a morals clause. In plain terms, that means if Ryan does anything that damages Disney's image, like getting tangled up in a legal mess involving alleged blackmail, retaliation, or fake narratives, they can drop him instantly, no matter how big the paycheck. And guess who's keeping a close eye on him right now? Bob Iger himself, the CEO.
A lot of folks are over this "It Ends With Us" lawsuit, and they want it to stop. And one of those people I hear now from multiple sources is Bob Iger himself, the CEO of Disney.
Multiple insiders have revealed that Bob Iger is absolutely furious with Ryan's behavior, not just disappointed or irritated, but genuinely enraged, because this entire lawsuit has now spilled over into Disney's world.
He wants to be involved in this. And now they've put on a brave face. They have made it clear they're not going to play nice pool with Justin over these Deadpool requests of getting information from the film.
It's poisoning the hype for Deadpool 3, messing up marketing plans, and giving the media more courtroom drama than box office buzz. For a company built on spotless, billion-dollar brands, this kind of scandal is pure poison.
It's just as right. This is all absolutely valid. This is not frivolous. He is demanding that they hold on to these documents so that he can do his discovery to figure it out.
So what does back off or burn actually mean? It's Bob Iger delivering a direct ultimatum to Ryan. Step away from the spotlight and the theatrics, behave, or Disney will ensure this marks your final Marvel role and remove you from future projects.
That's what the case is for, Ryan. You don't get to just throw your power around and keep demanding that it's frivolous and to go away and blah, 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 blah. You are so out of touch. It's wild.
They can't pull the plug just yet without stirring up legal trouble, but they can freeze him out, sideline him, isolate him, and make sure no new deals ever come his way. It's like a silent cancellation. You technically still have a seat at the table, but no one's ever inviting you to dinner again.
And meanwhile, Justin's out there feeling the financial weight. Now, to be fair, I'll call this out for what I see it is. To me, I believe this. I'm not trying to deny that he's not suffering, because he is. He is, make it clear. But this also conveniently is showing damage.
And still, Ryan keeps pushing ahead. Why? Because if he backs down now, if he admits even a hint of fault, he loses control of the story. Ryan Reynolds isn't just an actor. He's a brand, a walking billboard for sarcasm, charm, and A-list perfection. In his mind, the second he shows weakness, the media attacks, Disney freaks out, and he becomes replaceable.
Let's keep it a buck. The exclusive people source, they're smartly putting stuff out there to remind everybody Justin's not out there at premieres and launching stuff. He's still suffering, and he is.
That's why he's not just defending himself. He's trying to erase his name from the mess entirely. His whole strategy is to redirect the spotlight, painting Justin Baldoni as the aggressor, the guy filing baseless lawsuits, while Ryan plays the misunderstood millionaire just trying to protect his family.
Honestly, good on them. Valid. It's valid. They are trying to keep him in there, keep the story going, but remind everybody of the stress that he's going through, which is real. And honestly, as you even say, but he's a positive guy. And I do think he'll be okay at the end of this. I really do.
It's not really about winning in court. It's about protecting the Reynolds brand. If he can convince the public and the press that he's the real victim, maybe Disney will think twice, maybe they won't trigger that morals clause, and maybe he can weather this storm with Deadpool and his career still intact.
Brian Freeman did respond. In the latest assault on Mr. Baldoni and other Wayfarer parties, Miss Lively and Mr. Reynolds are now seeking sanctions on the purported ground that certain allegations in their complaint are frivolous.
But Brian Friedman wasn't buying it. He saw straight through the act. This wasn't some simple legal misunderstanding. As Friedman described it, it was a calculated, coordinated legal assault.
But anyway, now he's trying to ask the judge to ding Justin's team financially.
And Ryan's push for sanctions? That wasn't justice, it was revenge. He was trying to financially strangle Baldoni, halt Discovery before it even began, and bury the lawsuit under layers of red tape and celebrity clout. But Friedman called it out, loudly and publicly, completely derailing the whole plan.
Yeah, the Deadpool star on Tuesday hit back against JB and his team with a request for monetary sanctions, which they say is reaction to the preposterous defamation lawsuit that makes a mockery of the legal system.
Because now, instead of quietly stifling the case, Ryan has only amplified it. The courts are watching, Disney is watching, and the public is watching. Every time he makes another desperate move, it doesn't read as confidence, it reads as panic. And guess what? That panic is real, because Ryan isn't just scared of losing a case. He's scared of losing everything.
And meanwhile, she's out there launching new hair care lines and calling everything frivolous. I don't see him out there you are a mockery, Blake. This whole thing was a mockery. Your whole inability to accept some bad press shows how thin-skinned you were back in August.
You might think Blake Lively is stressed over a failed PR campaign, but Ryan's real worry is getting cut from Marvel. He's anxious about his billion-dollar image shattering like cheap glass. And now, with even his boss telling him to step back, and him refusing, you've got to wonder, what is he so afraid will come out?
The idea that they put out Kirsty's interview, give me a break!
Because let's be clear, Ryan's Hollywood clout only works as long as people buy the image, the charming husband, the funny guy, the bankable star. If that image crumbles under scandal, he doesn't just lose fans. He loses contracts, studio deals, endorsements, and Disney doesn't mess around with damage control. They excise it like a tumor. And that's when the panic really starts to reek.
Ryan Reynolds is now trying to bully the court to try to put financial pressure on Justin Baldoni to drop what he's calling the frivolous lawsuit.
Because when you declare a lawsuit frivolous before discovery, before anyone has even seen the evidence, you're not defending yourself. You're trying to shut down the courtroom. That's not a legal strategy. It's preemptive sabotage.
Now Blake Lively's team wants to know what this company found out.
Let's break it down. In the legal world, discovery is the stage where both sides gather evidence, depose witnesses, and review documents. Basically, where the truth is meant to emerge. And what is Ryan's team demanding? That Justin Baldoni never even reached that point. No documents, no depositions, no facts. Just shut it all down and act like it never happened. That's not a defense. That's a cover-up.
And Blake Lively did not want to participate in this investigation. She also turned down any investigation that the CRD complaint, after she filed that, they offered to investigate for her, and she declined that.
And here's the legal kicker. Rule 11 of the Federal Rules of Civil Procedure. It says that when someone files a motion, like for sanctions or dismissal, it has to be based on fact and law, not personal annoyance or PR spin. If it's filed recklessly or just to harass the other side, both the filer and their attorney can be sanctioned. Yep, Ryan and his team could be digging their own grave if the court decides this motion was merely a power play with no factual basis.
She doesn't want to take part in any of the investigation to find out if she actually has been a victim of SH. But now Blake Lively's team wants to know what this company found out.
Because that's exactly how it looks. A PR stunt wrapped in a three-piece legal suit. Ryan is treating the courtroom like a press conference podium, trying to paint Baldoni as someone wasting the court's time, when really he's just making sure no one sees the inside of the case. And if there's nothing to hide, why fight so hard to keep everything under wraps?
Not for the judge to deem. This is why we're in discovery. This is why we're doing depositions. Dude, you don't get to just end it before he's even gotten to ask people and get the facts.
Even worse, he's attacking discovery, the part of the process designed to guarantee fairness. Courts are very hesitant to deny discovery unless there's clear abuse, because due process matters. The Fifth Amendment ensures every individual the right to a fair hearing, and Ryan is effectively trying to erase that right by labeling the entire case baseless before it even begins.
There's enough here to get information. The fact that your team was out there asking Taylor to delete text messages and show support. I mean, Ryan, that looks bad.
The Constitution isn't some optional guideline. It's the backbone of the entire system. And when a celebrity tries to sidestep it with money and influence, that's not just arrogant. It's dangerous. Ryan's legal team isn't even being subtle about it. Their motion reads more like a tabloid than a legal document, accusing Justin of staging a defamation circus, making frivolous demands, and pushing for sanctions that would financially wreck him.
Travis Kelce not following you anymore. These are real things. These aren't just us bullying you and so on. We are not going to just keep accepting whatever narrative you and other high profile celebrities demand we follow. No.
But this isn't some Twitter feud. This is a federal courtroom. And when lawyers exploit it to rack up media points, it's not just unethical. It's potentially criminal. Need another legal lesson? Let's talk about abuse of process.
Reference the satirical woke nice pool character, which JB thought was an obvious shot. It was. Again, I've spoken to crew. They were like, oh my God, when I saw Deadpool Wolverine, even before the internet figured it out, I was like, that's clearly mocking Justin. They've all confirmed this. And you know it, Ryan. You absolutely know.
Under common law, abuse of process happens when someone uses legal procedures for ulterior motives, not to pursue justice, but to harass, intimidate, or manipulate. If Justin's team can show that Ryan's motion for sanctions was filed not because the case was weak, but to silence him before damaging evidence came out, it could seriously backfire.
It's clear from the latest filing he wants to send a message that JB's team overstepped. Oh, you think? Well, we'll see. We'll see if these sanctions are met, Ryan. Good luck with.
And here's the irony. The harder Ryan pushes this strategy, the guiltier he appears. If your hands are clean, there's no need to block discovery. You let it unfold and prove your innocence. But Ryan is playing the elite's game. Stall, silence, and sabotage.
Lawyers for Reynolds tell TMZ regarding Baldoni's complaint, these are not serious claims. Are they talking about Blake's? Because I would agree about that. They are a desperate ploy for clickbait headlines that have no place in federal court. Why do you keep putting out headlines too?
Delay the process, drain your opponent's wallet, and flood the headlines with legal buzzwords like frivolous and baseless, hoping the public drifts off before the truth comes out. But the public isn't asleep. They're asking the questions Ryan doesn't want to face. Like, if this lawsuit is truly laughable and outrageous, why is Taylor Swift staying silent?